And we're on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Mia Kayser, and you're watching The Mia Kayser Show. Today, we'll be interviewing the guests of Winter of Our Discontent. Our first guest of the day is Ethan Hawley. Let's begin. Now, you nearly committed a bank robbery. Which of the characters inspired you to do so?
My good friend Joey. We call him Morph.
What did he say to plant this idea in your mind?
Basically gave me a rundown on how to rob the bank, giving me times to arrive, places to find the easiest money, and a plan to escape. He also gave me advice on how to not look suspicious after the robbery. I believe it went something like, "Hey Morph, what are you doing for the Easter weekend? Is the bank closed?"
Bank is. I'm not. Well, Joey, be chained to the books right here. Big weekend like this, everybody and their dogs cashing in checks.
Never thought of that.
Oh sure, Easter, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, any long weekend. If I wanted to stick up a bank, I'd do it just before a long weekend. Stuff's right all there, laid out, waiting.
Enzo, 2 shots of the hard stuff.
It's gonna cost you. Just kidding. Hard stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, and here. On the house.
Cheers.
You seemed skeptical when you heard Margie Young Hunt's fortune about you. What was the fortune?
Margie Young Hunt's fortune for me, which she told to my wife, was that I was going to become very wealthy.
What made you skeptical?
The reason I was skeptical about Margie's fortune for me was because of the way she told it. She told it using tarot cards, which in my mind aren't very reliable. Also because when she told me, she pulled a card out of a man that was hanging upside down, which in my mind isn't a man that's becoming rich. But apparently to Margie it was.
Your wife, Mary, is someone who influences you to make many of the decisions in your life. What were some of the decisions she convinced you to make that you weren't sure that you wanted to go through with?
Convinced me to invest in her brother's money. I was hesitant to because I was afraid it would all disappear, but for some reason, she just knew it would make more money.
Our second guest of the day is Joey Morphy. What was your motive in telling Ethan the ways to rob a bank?
I was just trying to give him something to think about if he ever got so desperate as to consider it, so he'd do it the right way.
What is the role that Margie Young Hunt plays in your life?
She's nice. She's really nice. She comes to visit me every now and then, but we've gone to dinner a couple times, but that's about it.
Are there any reasons why you shouldn't trust Ethan?
I would trust Ethan with my life. He's always been a very honest man, never betrayed anybody, not even if it benefits him.
Our third guest of the day is Margie Young Hunt. Joey Morphy is a friend of yours. What is the relationship between you two?
Well, there's no way to really define a relationship. I guess you could say we are close. Closer than friends, but not together. I do favors for Joey sometimes, as he does for me.
You seem to have developed an interest in your own best friend's husband. What was it that attracted you to him?
Ethan was different than most men in our town. He kept me interested and on my feet. He was one of the only men in the town who did not fall for me right away. This intrigued me and made me want him even more. I know what you are thinking. How could you do this to your best friend? Well, my answer to this is I am a middle-aged, attractive single woman, and I get lonely. Friendship isn't enough. I need companionship. Ethan becoming wealthy was just the icing on the cake. Not only could I be with somebody, but maybe I could even get some money out of it.
In what ways did Mary Hawley bring you close to Ethan?
I guess you could say that Mary was my into the Hawley family. I used her to get close to the children and get close to her husband. I was able to prove to her that she could trust me by spending time with her and doing her favors such as watching her children. She had no idea of my plans to try and seduce her husband. The easiest way to get close to Ethan was to gain his wife's trust, which would gain the family's trust, and finally Ethan would notice me.
What happened to your past 2 failed marriages?
Well, one of my marriages didn't work because my husband died of old age. I only married him because he was wealthy. I knew he would die and I would obtain his money and be able to support myself in the long run. My second husband was deeply in love with me. However, I only wanted his money. I divorced him and he still gives me money in hopes that I will return to him.
And last but not least, we have Mary Holly. Who was the one that made you encourage Ethan to follow through with the money opportunities that came his way?
Well, my good friend Margie Younghunt told me my fortune. It said that my husband Ethan was going to be the most important person in town. Every card that she flipped over showed more and more money that my husband was going to make. It said that this would happen very soon. I was surprised but anxious to know what else she saw in my near future. The funny thing is, she had read my fortune 3 times because she never saw anything like it before.
How did you feel after Ethan brought all the success that he was able to your family?
After everything Ethan was able to do for our family, I couldn't be more proud of him. I didn't have to worry as much anymore financially and emotionally, and that made me a lot happier.
Why were you so determined to convince Ethan to make the decisions that he did?
To be honest, I was tired of being a clerk's wife. I wanted my name to matter around town, and I wanted to have a better reputation. My husband is overqualified for his job, and I wanted him to be someone important. I wanted to be proud to be a Holly.
It's been a great day. Thank you for tuning in to the Mia Kayser Show.